Another world. Another time. In the age of wonder.
You are listening to
Trial by Stone.
Trial by Stone!
Dea, Tea, Dara, Tea.
Your vital essence, the Dark Crystal.
Kida, Kida.
Come, see for yourself.
Aru, Garu.
How very interesting.
Dea, Tea. I feel the song of Thra in my heart. Now go, you heroes of Thra.
Hello, I'm Philip Mitchell and welcome to Trial by Stone Live. I'm Philip Mitchell. Just want to say thank you so much for tuning in to this live show. Sorry about that technical difficulty at the start. Still learning this whole live streaming thing. So again, thank you if you're watching it right now. And it's just good to try and do this live and just see how well this whole thing works. So now I'm Philip, and so thank you so much. I just thought just do this whole live stream thing just to see how well it works. I guess I did say that earlier, but I thought I'd give you some updates about the what's been going on with the podcast, and also with Dark Crystal as well. So recently, I know recently we had the comics with the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. So I'll bring that up very shortly. And so of course, issue 7 just came out last week, and I'd have to say these comics have been pretty good. They've been a lot of fun. I've really been enjoying the stories about Hup and the Gelfling Phineas. So they've been pretty good so far. And of course, the previous comics was about Auden and the quest for the Jewel Glaive, and it was pretty good. They've been, these Age of Resistance comics have been pretty solid, pretty good. So, I know they had the preview pages that I just thought I'd, show you all. Some of these covers are just so great. Just look at Hup right there. He's terrified for his life. So it's been pretty good. I mean, it'll definitely be interesting how it's going to impact with issue 8. I think I read online about the whole thing that's happening around the world at the moment, that I think it was a Diamond distributor, the main distributor with the comics, they've sort of paused distributing comics to stores for now. So it's going to be interesting whether those comics will actually be available online, for example, especially on Comixology or that sort of thing. So it will be interesting to see how well that'll go. So it's really good. So I'm looking forward to hopefully get to read the last arc of the comics with Hup and Phineas, and of course the next arc is about Mordra Mayan, the All Mordra, which is going to be really cool, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what she gets up to in her adventures. I think I think we saw in some covers about being on a ship with another Gelfling, sort of sailing seas and whatnot, so it's going to be really, really interesting. Also, the other thing that actually came out recently that I thought I'd bring up is, of course, Dream Seeking. That was just a book that came out very recently. I actually managed to get my hands on the comic, and it was a lot of fun. It's a very small book, so and there's little sections about what all these different quizzes, or what creature would you be, or what Gelfling clan you would belong to, and it was pretty neat. It was pretty cool. And I think I did the Gelfling clan, and following along with that book, I was a Seafin. But I kind of feel like that I'm probably, because I always felt like I was more of a Sprighton as well. because you're getting check like all the personalities like of what each clan is like, and I think I'm a bit of both with Sprighton and the Siphon. That looks so cool. Are you talking about the book with Dream Seeking? So I know doing this live, there is a bit of a delay for any technical nerds like myself. I know there's a bit of delay between what I read on screen to what I speak on video that then gets transmitted to you guys, of course. So that's pretty cool. And so it does have some quizzes and a bit of trivia and adventures. So it's a little bit of everything. So it's pretty neat. I guess, from there, the other things I wanted to bring up is the guests that we're going to have for the next sort of few episodes of Trial by Stone. So, I mean, this episode's actually going to come out later tonight, my time. Thinking about time zones. So, today is Tuesday. So, tonight, Tuesday night for me, which would be Tuesday morning in the US, we will have a special episode of Trial by Stone, and we're going to have Toby Froud. Toby is going to be on the show, and myself and Jamie, we got a chance to chat to Jamie, and yeah, we just had such a fantastic time chatting to him about Age of Resistance, and which was really cool. And I think we recorded, when we originally recorded the interview with him, it was pretty much days after that he won the award. I'm forgetting exactly what the award was on top of my head. I think it was for the VES Awards, but I've probably forgotten what it is. I'm probably very wrong about that right now. So, so this is really cool, having him on the show. And, going the next lot of shows, we're going to discuss about Rian. This is something that, Trial by Stone, we want to keep talking about Age of Resistance. And now that we've sort of talked about the 10 episodes of the show, and we want to keep talking Age of Resistance because it's such a damn good show. And so we thought about, what kind of shows to talk about, and we thought doing these sort of character-based sort of episodes where we talk about a journey of, what each character went throughout the show. I think it'd be very interesting to sort of discuss and analyze and sort of, and even speculate of, what things to come with, should a season 2 happen. I mean, at the moment, I don't know if we're getting a season 2 of Age of Resistance. I haven't heard anything. I've certainly got my fingers crossed, and we're just hoping for the best, because I know that there's been a lot of other Netflix shows that have been around that have already been renewed. I mean, the other day, I think Lock and Key, I think they came out like a good couple of months ago, just recently got renewed for season 2. And I mean, Age of Resistance, it's been around for 6 or so months now. I think 6 months, more than 6 months now, and we still haven't heard anything. Which, I know it's probably like, it's a really big concern about that, that we haven't heard anything. But I guess, the thing with Age of Resistance is like, well, that was a mammoth show. That's all puppets, and I think there are a lot of challenges with doing shows with puppets, especially puppets. But I think it's I think it's much harder process to, because if they're going to do another season, and then they got to work out if that's going to be the final season, and they need to plan it out way in advance. So it's going to be it'll definitely be interesting to see if they do it. I really hope so. I think, we all need a bit of Thra, so we'll just see what happens. So Brett, you said, Rian's definitely an interesting character. Hope we get to see more of him in the second season. Yeah, I definitely agree. It's going to be interesting what will happen to him. Of course, we saw those visions of Rian. That was in episode 8. It's funny because I'm remembering these things more so because of these discussion shows that I've already recorded. Which is really good. And it's going to be really interesting to see what happens to Rian. And not so Rian, but also a lot of other characters as well. So we're definitely going to do at least go through the main heroes of Thra, with Rian and Dean and Breya and Hup and countless of, there's plenty of characters that we can just talk about pretty much like a whole year, or even a couple of years really, talking about every single character. So so it's going to be a lot of fun. And also, I think, as you probably know, that we are bringing back the Gathering songs. I mean, we did release a show that came out. It has come out, hasn't it? Yeah, I know. I was just trying to get my head around it because I'm like, I did release it last week. Yeah, so so we had that intro episode with Jason Delgado. Of course, a lot of the YouTube community, like yourselves, probably know him from the Dark Crystal Conjunction. Great YouTube channel, so definitely check them out. But he's going to be hosting these shows, these really deep dive discussions about all things Dark Crystal, and it was something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, to bring that show back. I know we had a break from it, I think, mid last year, and that was just because we had Tides of the Dark Crystal to discuss, and then I decided to sort of stop that because we had Age of Resistance, so that was sort of like the big thing that we wanted to talk about. But now that things are a bit quiet at the moment, I mean, as is, with a lot of things that are happening in the world right now, I wanted to bring back the Gathering songs, and for Jason to host it is pretty awesome. So we have recorded one other show, I think, going through chapters 1 to 4. So that'll be coming up at the end of April. So look forward to that. And there are always fun shows to do because every time we do these shows, I tend to think, oh, you know what? We'll probably get it done in one episode. We could talk about this book in one episode or this one comic, and it just never happens, because there's just so much information to really deep dive into. So, which is really cool. And I'm just trying to think what else. We also are planning a Patreon. If you're able to support us, we're going to launch the Patreon in April. So I think it's going to be 1st or 2nd of April. Definitely around that time. Most likely the 1st of April. So definitely check that out. I'll definitely be posting the link. The link for it's going to be at patreon.com/Dark Crystal Podcast. It's not live yet. So I just, just finalizing a few little details and got some rewards. One of which is that I am planning to do an exclusive show on Patreon called Dream Space, which is sort of going to be like an off-topic, but also, sort of general Dark Crystal talk pretty much, or a Q&A format. It's sort of the format for Dream Space is pretty open at the moment. And, just thinking about that, why don't I try and find the intro for Dream Space, so you can actually have a listen and see what you think of this intro for Dream Space.
Another world. Another time.
In the age of wonder.
This is Dream Space.
What's that?
The dream space binds us to Thra and to each other.
The Dream Space is a spirit realm, a source of magic and prophecy.
The world within our world.
So yeah, that's the intro for Dream Space. So yeah, I always have a lot of fun trying to be creative in the Dark Crystal podcast. So yeah, just thought I'd put it out there, just a little taste of what you're gonna get with the Patreon. And also, we're going to have fan art as well by our co-host Sydney. So every month, each month we'll have a piece of fan art that's made by Sydney that we'll have at the end of towards the end of each month as a reward for anyone that pledges. I think for $6 or more, and then so the bonus content's going to be $3. The fan art is going to be that and the fan art for $6, and the last one, the $9 tier, is more just for sponsorships. So there's people that really want to support the show and have a business or product, or just a big shout out that we can do at the start and end of each episode of Trial by Stone, like for that month. That'd be greatly appreciated. So we're just sort of keeping things simple with doing the with the tiers. Dark Crystal works in 3, so 369. I think that works pretty good. So yeah. So I think I'm probably going to wrap up for this episode, but I don't know if anyone has any questions for the stream while I am here. So I know this was a very impromptu kind of live show. I really just doing this just to test how it all works, and I think I've done a couple of tests that have got to the point where I'm like, yeah, I think that works all right. So yeah, let me know if you had any questions. I'm just trying to think what to talk about while I'm waiting for the questions, because I know there is that delay. So trying to think what else has been happening with the podcast. I've that's one of the big things, what I've been doing, being home, being safe. So, keep washing your hands when you're home, when you go out and go home, washing your hands. But yeah, no, I've been good. So just keeping safe, staying inside, only going out when it's necessary. Especially, if you need to get some food, go to the supermarket. Yeah, so it's just, sorry, I'm just rambling. But I know it's a very, just letting you all an impromptu kind of live show. But don't worry, like the next lot of shows, I'll definitely be planning them way in advance and letting you know all the days and times. So I think I probably will wrap up for this episode. So again, thank you so much, and stay tuned for more Trial by Stone. Trial by Stone, the Dark Crystal podcast, is a production of 3 Point Edit. If you'd like to get in contact with the show, you can do so at darkcrystalpodcast@gmail.com. You can also like us on Facebook, follow on Twitter and Instagram, and subscribe on YouTube. If you'd like to know more about the podcast, visit our website at www.darkcrystalpodcast.com. Thank you so much and stay tuned for the next episode of Trial by Stone.